Hey guys, welcome back. On this video we're actually going to be working on the Jeep Wrangler that I have. It's a 2015. I got an engine code that was P0128, which is a temperature control issue. Pretty much anywhere from 75,000 miles up to maybe 100 or so if you make it that far. It's very common for that light to come on, and the two main issues that you need to generally replace to fix is your thermostat housing and then of course your coolant temperature sensor. These are not very hard, and I'll kind of just give you a basic walkthrough on how it's replaced. And then of course the biggest thing is you want to reference what coolant that you have. For mine, it's going to be the OAT coolant, which I just decided to get directly from the dealer. It was, I think it was $21.99 for concentrate for a gallon, and then it was $17.99 for the premix. I just went ahead and grabbed two because it's around 3.5 or 2.5 gallons. 2.5 gallons is what you're needing usually after you drain, flush, whatever you want. But it's very important that you know the right coolant to put in, because you don't want to mix the HOAT and the regular OAT, because that will make sludge. So reference that, look it up, make sure you got the right one for your vehicle. If you're curious about which parts I'm using for the thermostat housing, I really only trust going to the dealer for that specific item. If you want, you can go to O'Reilly's, Napa. They all have their own little part that you can get. I just didn't really like the reviews that I was seeing, and honestly this is going to be a dealer item. I have 96,000 miles almost on this vehicle, and so I know that the dealer item is going to last a really long time, whereas I was seeing reviews of others where it's only lasting 6 months, a year. You might be lucky, but I just wanted to play it safe, get the dealer part. And here is the part for that. On the coolant temperature sensor, I decided to go to Advanced Auto. This is the part number for it. The reason I chose the Advanced Auto instead of going to the dealer is because this item right here is a lifetime warranty. Generally, I don't have a lot of problems with advanced parts. Napa is usually pretty good when it comes to their electrical components. Once you start going to AutoZone, I'm starting to have issues. O'Reilly's generally is pretty good as well. But I actually owned a two-door before this, and I had to replace these parts on it as well, and it was probably around 80,000 miles that I had to do it then. And I used this and I did not have any problems, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and go with it again. If it goes out, I can just take it back, get a new one. It's free, under warranty. Unfortunately, on the thermostat housing, none of them had any kind of lifetime warranty. All of them were pretty much like, here's a year, 12/12, that's all you get. So this is the first time that I have used this style of recording and also doing a voiceover, so let me know how you guys like this. I'll try to show you guys the best I can steps of what you're going to need to do and how I did it. There are other ways, but this is just how I went about. I decided to drain the radiator for this just because of how many miles I have. If you can flush it, cool, but I'm not doing that. You will get a little coolant out of the thermostat housing, as well as some coolant out of the temperature sensor. So just kind of have something ready to clean that up with. When you're taking off the thermostat housing, look for the gasket. Sometimes it gets stuck on there just like mine did. If you try and put a new one on there with the gasket still there, obviously you are going to have some leaks, so do not forget that. Be careful when you're tightening these bolts. You do not want to over tighten them. They are easy to snap if you're not used to putting these in. But if you want to play it safe, look up the torque spec for this guy, and we'll be okay. Now with the coolant temp sensor, I decided to go through the wheel well For me, it was pretty easy because I've already got some fender flares, and I just have to remove a bolt or two, and then I can get my cover off. The other people might be a little bit more difficult to try going through the top, but it was really tight fit for me. It was much easier just to do everything through the fender well. Now here in a second you're going to see me pull out the coolant reservoir. I definitely recommend checking this and cleaning it while you're doing this. A lot of times people are going to find sludge at the bottom, so it's good just to get that cleaned out. This item is a really great one that I'd recommend for anyone. It's very basic and it doesn't really cost a lot. Basically, you fill up your system however much it needs. For this, I am doing half water, half of the full concentrate, because that's how I bought it. It's a lot cheaper going that route, of course. Now, once you get it filled up, then you can start running the vehicle, and you'll leave the plug out of the funnel and it'll start to burp the system. So generally this works really great for putting it on an incline. That's what I'll usually do. These Chryslers take a long time to get all the air out of the system. There are fancier tools that you can do this with. Of course it's going to cost a lot more, but for the basic guy that wants to do this at his home, or even a mechanic in the shop, it works really well. So what I usually do is I let it sit and run for about 30 minutes or so, because these Mopar vehicles, it takes a while to burp the system. What you're looking for is you want to have your heater on full blast, as hot as it can go, and you want to put it on defrost, and you're looking for it to actually be hot. So like right now, it's been running for, I don't know, about 15 minutes or so, and the passenger side is hot, so this is good. And then I'll fill up at the vents, and it's hot too, and then you want to go around to your driver's side and check that as well. And see, now I'm filling the driver's side and it's not as hot. Yeah, so we might have a couple more bubbles in the system because this side over here it's not as warm, so we're going to leave it running and let it burp a little bit longer. One thing to note is if you have an issue where you're not getting all that heat through, you could need to flush your heater core, blow it out with air, whatever, because your heater core could be clogged, and that's what could be causing this one side or the other not to be hot, one side cold issue. But other than that, I'm just pretty much going to rinse this guy off. We have finished up this video, so thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at Custom Addiction. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.